can understand this idea, then the particular issues we've heard about today become, in a certain sense, simple to understand. Should the United States pass a carbon tax against industries? Carbon is an element, for crying out loud. We are carbon-based life forms. Every time you breathe, you are spewing out carbon. This makes the whole premise of the carbon-based tax means that life itself is anti-life. The whole thing is a basic contradiction. The only way you can actually follow the premise of the carbon tax is to cut your own throat and die. So why don't the environmentalists show us how it's done and do it? The whole premise of socialized medicine is that you are not competent to make choices about your own life and your choice of your own doctor, and that doctors are not competent to make their own choices. Who then should make choices about your own health care? The answer is anybody who has no competency in medicine. Right? The very person who has competency in medicine, who goes through the years of effort to pass college, to pass medical school, to achieve proficiency and expertise in a medical field, goes through the internship, establish a practice, develop it, just the 20 years of effort this takes, is therefore ruled unable to make judgments by what your health care should be. And who is therefore ruled competent to do so? Hillary Clinton, who couldn't prescribe an aspirin. Right? And where does she go for health care? To Bethesda. Where does Ted Kennedy go when he needs an operation? Does he go to Cuba, the United Kingdom, where they have socialized medicine, the best in the world, we're told? No, he goes to a private clinic at Duke University. Right? So let them practice what they preach and show us how it is done. But they don't do it. They don't do it, do they? These particular issues fall away once we understand the principle of individual rights. And we understand then that there can be no compromise on this issue. We cannot compromise this issue. If we compromise it, if we say, oh, well, the bill we have now is not as bad as the one we had before, so I will accept it, then we are taking a small but just as firm a step down the road to socialism. We've got to stand no, and we've got to tell most of all the people who pretend to be on our side but who are compromising that we're not going to take it anymore. We've got to draw a line with them. We've got to make it more dangerous for the politicians who are tempted to compromise to accept the compromise than it is for them to do so. And so I challenge people at these tea parties to do something. It's a very simple thing. When you leave this tea party, don't go home with just the thought of it and the good pleasant memory and the literature and the photographs. Commit yourself to learning about this issue. If you want to understand the cancer that's growing up among us, read Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. It is all there. There is a reason why in the first year it was published, this is an amazing statistic I did not know until this week. In the first year it was published, Atlas Shrugged sold 80,000 copies. Year to date, this year, it has sold 600,000 copies. There's a reason for that, because everything you're seeing in the world around you was already played out in 1957, including all the bills to socialize national health care and to take over industry. Educate yourself on these issues. Reread the American founders. Reread the American founding documents. The second thing is, when you come to understand rights in this way, shout it from the rooftops. Write to your congressman. If everybody who attended one of these tea parties went home and wrote one letter, it doesn't have to be eloquent. Make it short, make it blunt, make it sharp, and handwrite it. Congressmen read handwritten letters. In fact, those are some, I've been told by staffers, those are some of the most important and most powerful letters. Write a short 2-sentence letter. If you vote for the cap and trade or socialized medicine bills, I will not vote for you. That's all it takes. And copy that letter into your newspaper. And if everybody who went to one of these tea parties wrote such a letter, it would be impossible to ignore. And the third thing to do perhaps is this. Pass this idea on to your children and your grandchildren. When they come home from school and they've been told by their teachers and by their professors that they have a duty to serve others, that they have a duty to serve people overseas who have not achieved the material success that we have, that they have a duty to serve people on the other side of town Look them in the eye and tell them that you know their case solidly. Tell them as solidly as I'm able to tell you today, standing here with no notes, that you understand the case and that they have no such duty. What they have is a responsibility to live their own life the best that they can be. The best that they can be for their own sake, with benevolence and goodwill toward other people, showing respect toward those who deserve it, and especially showing respect for the individual rights of all. And if we can rejuvenate that idea, bring that idea back into the forefront of this nation in proper understanding, bring that idea back into the forefront of discourse, back into political discourse, and back into the classrooms, then we are on the route that we can save this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for coming out today. Thank you for being so kind as to listen to me. Long live the United States of America, the birthplace of the individual rights of man.
Dr. John Lewis. Boy, he was good. Look at that, John. Standing ovation. Look at that. Hey, is Chris Richardson here? Chris was on my Facebook, said he was coming down. Chris, if you're here, I need you to come up. I need to talk to you a second. Chris Richardson, come on up here if you're here. A couple thank yous before we move on. Some of our sponsors that they weren't part of this, we couldn't have had it today. Americans for Prosperity, you see the big bus over there. B&B Electric, Beaver Tree and Lawn Service, Cheesecake.com, Cox Transportation, Diamond Screen Graphics. Also thank you to Digital Video Group. Thank you to the National Media Logistics, Inc. and Sinorama Richmond. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming out, and thank you to the Richmond Tea Party people for putting this on today. Thank you. You know, he mentioned Atlas Shrugged, and Atlas Shrugged